Hi guys, at this point, let's talk about your abuse, which is still under your psychosocial and mental health nursing. Yan. So this is common, lumalabas din to sa ating boards, and it's very essential for us to know what are the types of abuses, what are the interventions, and what are the significant manifestations and assessments that our nurses should be very careful about. Okay? So first, let's discuss about the types of abuses. So first, this is very familiar to us, physical abuse. Alam natin to. Okay? And this is the most common type of abuse that we have in the society. So, it is defined as the violence to others with the injury. Remember that. Okay? So, violence to others with the presence of injury. So, physical in nature, nothing to think extra concepts, but you need to think that it's something physical abuse. It could be wounds, it could be bruises. So these are physical abuse or abusive types na physical in nature. Okay? Sexual abuse. When we say sexual abuse from the word itself, those are types of abuses na unconsented sexual conduct. Okay? Or walang consent from the both parties to do a sexual conduct, because it could be a consensual sexual act kapag may permit or mayroon pong consent from both parties. So walang kaso yon. But here, class, ang nangyayari dito is unconsented yung sexual act, hence nagiging sexual abuse siya. Okay? So kung ginagawa siya paulit-ulit, kapatid, that's when it becomes sexual abuse. Okay? Another is your verbal and emotional abuse. Okay, so this is the use of demeaning words that's meant to control or harm another person. So, ayan, this is common from among those dependent or yung may mga, usually yung may mga weak personality. Okay, so yung may mga high risk dito ay yung may mga weak personality, those who have been bedridden for a very long time na. So they are common victims of verbal and emotional abuse. Okay? Neglect. So when we say neglect, this is when a person is unable to meet the basic needs such as hygiene, clean clothing, and when a child oftenly absent in classes. So remember that neglect is a very covert na type of abuse. Okay? Kung hindi magiging very si nurse, kung hindi siya magiging very good in assessment, walang mangyayari, hindi natin to makikita. Okay? So neglect is present, and the risk factors of this or the cues na makikita natin sa patient or sa client na victim of neglect. Okay? So is yung mga bata usually na purang hygiene, or yung mga persons na poor hygiene, walang clean clothing, and also sign din dito, pathognomonic, no, lumalabas ito sa ating board exam, yung palaging pagliban sa klase. Okay? So that's an example of neglect. Okay? So, elder abuse from the word itself, elder or elderly. Okay, this is the abuse among old ages. And common risks dito ay yung may mga Alzheimer's disease, dementia, isolation, immobility. So, remember this one. So, this is quite different when it comes to the healthcare system that they have in the United States. Because in the United States, they have these skilled nursing facilities, they have these nursing homes. Okay? So, ang elder abuse is much more nakikita. Okay? It is actually, kumbaga, we do not say it's rampant, but it could be easily assessed. It's because they have these facilities and it's part actually of their healthcare system. In the Philippines, hindi natin to madaling makita. Why? Because there's, kumbaga, kulang ng facilities for the care of our elderlies, okay, in the Philippines. So, hidden and covert po most of the elder abuse cases in our country. Okay? Next is financial abuse. When we say financial abuse, from the word itself, abuse that occurs to financially dependent individuals. So, nangyayari ito sa mga halimbawa, no, among elderly din, kapag may financial factor na, it becomes now your financial abuse. Okay? Or those who are financially dependent to a certain person. Okay. So, now, what are the common assessments? Ano ba yung mga madalas lumalabas sa boards? Okay? So, first, we need to think that as nurses, we need to be very, very vigilant in looking at what are our most significant assessments kapag we are actually suspecting cases of abuse. Okay? First, kailangan nagmamatch po yung storya or yung kumbaga yung sinasabi ng client at saka ng guardian, if kasama si guardian, doon sa present na injury sa ating pasyente. If that doesn't match, if the story that doesn't match the injury, so you need to consider or suspect now that there is really an abuse. Halimbawa, no, sabi ng guardian na yung bata inabot niya yung tubig, that the child is not yet, kumbaga hindi pa niya kayang abutin yung mainit na tubig, and then nagkaroon ng spoiling or nagkaroon ng injury sa pasyente. Okay, nag-scalding yung pasyente, so that's a thing that you need to suspect now because hindi pa kaya ng bata na maabot yung sinasabi ng kanyang guardian or parent. So it's now a very, kumbaga, significant assessment na kailangan nating bantayan. Different stages of healing of broken bones. So, different stages of healing, that's actually that's a pathognomonic din. Kumbaga, it's a hallmark na kailangan nating tingnan. Why? Because kapag sinabi natin different stages of healing of broken bones, ibig sabihin, paulit-ulit na ginagawa. Diba? If we have this, if we've been able to acquire some fracture just because of a certain accident or incident na kung saan, halimbawa, we had a fall, we had a vehicular accident, so we will be having those fractures or broken bones all at once. Pero ang nangyayari dito, different stages of healing. So, you need to suspect now. You can now suspect, baka ganito, okay? So, different stages of healing of broken bones. Burns. So, what type of burns ang kailangan nating bantayan? Okay, cigarette pattern burns, kagaya nito, yung nasa larawan po natin. Symmetrical scalding on extremities, ayun, eto. So, this is already a clear sign that the patient or the client, lalo-lalo na common to sa mga pedya, no? Makikita natin yung scalding on extremities na symmetrical. So, ibig sabihin, para siyang niloblob. It's not an accident. So, symmetrical scalding on extremities, zebra pattern, also clear line, and no splash marks. So, madali nating makikita o ma-assess if what happened to the patient is accidental. Kapag medyo walang form or medyo hindi siya patterned, okay? So, tanggalin na po natin ang suspicion ng abuse. Okay? But if it has the secondary pattern burns, may mga symmetrical scalding, okay, clear line and no splash marks, suspect now of abuse. Okay? So also children na may mga retinal bleeds, spiral fracture, unusual bruises, and eto, yung parent daw or yung guardian doesn't allow the child to speak. So mahalata natin yan upon assessments. So that's already a thing wherein we need to start suspecting for cases of abuse. Okay? So, what are our interventions for abuse? Common din to, ha? Lumalabas na sa board. You need to prioritize, kapatid. Prioritize safety. Whenever you think of abuse, safety is the priority. Okay? So, when do we say that we are prioritizing safety? First, when you make safety plan. You immediately think, immediately document what are your assessments or what are your suspicions. You make a safety plan and it should be quick and it should be immediate. Okay? Provide shelter. So, kasama po sa pagpa-prioritize ng safety natin is you provide shelter. Okay? How do we do that? By calling our social worker. So, pagdating sa libro, ito po yung sinasabi. You call your social worker. Okay? So, prioritize safety by making safety plan, provide shelter, call social worker. And of course, after that, you report. Okay? Together with the social worker, you work together with the social worker, and then you both have this one reported. Okay? So, that's for the abuse as under a concept under pa rin po sa ating psychosocial and mental health nursing. Antabayan po natin ang mga susunod na videos. Okay, and of course, don't forget to subscribe here in our YouTube channel. Maraming salamat po and have a good day.